trick. We're going to do it with some phyllo dough. And I'm adding a couple different ingredients. So like Chrissy said, we're doing a little bit of that butter and a little bit of grapeseed oil in between, and some pistachios. So if you can get some ground pistachios or walnuts or almonds are fantastic. And what I'm going to do is just sprinkle a little bit on between each layer. And you can even add a little bit of cinnamon to that if you want.
Or vanilla would be good.
Or vanilla, yeah, fantastic. And it's going to give you some nice texture, some nice crunch.
So it's almost like a baklava.
Exactly, absolutely. Except not as much butter. I love baklava, and I've made it with some authentic cooks that are professionals in the baklava. And there's a lot of butter. There's a lot of butter. It's delicious, but there's a lot of butter.
So this would be a good trick too if you're using making like spanakopita or something. I know I always use butter, but if you cut it with the grapeseed oil, then you're really cutting back on some of the saturated fats.
Yeah, for sure. And the grapeseed oil is a very neutral oil. So I use olive oil almost for everything, but for desserts, you probably don't want to use olive oil. Yeah. So grapeseed oil is still healthy for you, but it's neutral, so you're not going to, confuse the flavors. Exactly. Yeah.
So originally, this recipe was done with a puff patty, like a puff pastry, but it's like a big vol au vent, and it was just filled with the filling. But this is a great light idea. I love it.
So
it's great to bounce ideas off of another chef and learn new things. So and show the versatility of ingredients.
Absolutely, and so this is what you're looking for. I usually do about 5 layers to get a nice flakiness in between, and then that's going to go onto your baking sheet. So back onto your baking sheet, without the other sheets of phyllo, and that's going to go into the oven, 375, for about 6-7 minutes, and then and what you want to do is kind of cross cut it. So cut little squares into it ahead of time, and then you have your little layers here. So your little puff layers, you get a nice little golden brown. You can drizzle a little bit of honey on it at the end.
The honey gives it a nice sheen, actually.
Yeah. And we're ready to assemble. So for the filling, put this here. For the filling, we're using mascarpone cheese, and we're using some low-fat Greek yogurt, which is, again, great way to lighten it up a little bit. You're going to still have that really nice creamy consistency. And mascarpone cheese is it's delicious.
Lovely.
Delicious,
it's so
it's rich.
Creamy. It's like cream cheese on steroids.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it, yes.
So you're getting some calcium into your recipe, which is wonderful, and some protein, which I always like incorporating into recipes, especially dessert recipes. You don't often see it there, but when you're getting a little bit of sweetness or a little bit of sugar, it's always good to have that protein element to slow down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream.
So lots of lemon zest in here. We want to really infuse it with that lemon. For the recipe, the zest of 2 lemons would actually be perfect. For this amount, probably not. I was going a little overboard with the lemon zest.
It smells so fresh and yummy though, right?
The lemon zest is going to go in there. You can even add a little bit of vanilla extract to it, just to kick up the flavor, and that's it. So that's your filling.
And we sometimes put in some freshly chopped mint too at that point.
Oh, great idea!
You know what?
Yeah.
Let's do that. We're live. Let's.
You're brightening. I can imagine already the flavor before tasting it, with the brightness of the lemon and then the mint.
And the honey also goes nice together.
And what's nice about this dessert, it's really just assembly. The only baking you're doing is the initial bake for the phyllo, and that's not taking that long. After that, it's just assembly.
So you can have that ready too. So you've got your peppers made ahead, you've got your skewers made ahead, you've got your, and then you can just enjoy your family.
Enjoying the weather and the fact.
This is a great Mother's Day menu. Definitely healthy. We're getting some great nutrients into it, and nice and light.
You could do this for brunch even. Yeah.
Perfect.
So that filling is going to go into, if you have a piping bag. If you don't have a piping bag, just a freezer Ziploc bag will work. And we're just going to cut a corner.
No cutting corners in the kitchen.
Corners. There's no drum and cymbal in the back. So cut the corner off. Make sure you find that plastic piece
Yeah,
right
yeah.
away.
It's
Throw
like
it
the
on
milk
floor.
bag. It's like the milk bag.
Somebody ends up eating it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Gives you a chewy consistency
Yeah.
to your dessert.
A unique flavor.
And so you're ready to plate. I have this little guy here, just makes it easier. And you can take one of your little squares, put it on top, and the Napoleon is traditionally tiered, right? So it's usually 2 tiers. I guess you can go as high as you want.
I think
I'm not-
3. Yeah, sometimes 3.
I guess
Let's
a
pile it.
shorter one, a shorter tier.
I always think
It's
like
not supposed to be too tall.
Napoleon,
Not too tall.
Neapolitan,
Yeah.
so should be 3, right? I don't know. I don't even think they're related.
Jeremy's making a short joke. Poor Napoleon.
So a little bit, and I'm a little messy here, but a little bit of that mascarpone. You can put some raspberries in between. What I've done is made just a quick little raspberry sauce. So raspberries, tablespoon of honey, and teaspoon of lemon juice. That's it. And then just reduced it for like about 5 minutes in a pot, blended it, and there's seeds in raspberries, so you just want to pass it through a strainer. But it didn't take long. It took me about 10 minutes to make this.
Oh my
And
goodness.
you get this really kind of nice raspberry sauce. Yes, sorry. So about a cup of fresh raspberries or frozen raspberries, tablespoon of honey, and a teaspoon of lemon juice. And that's it.
How much lemon?
About a teaspoon of lemon juice. Yeah. And I can even put it on the site after as well.
Good idea.
So
Yeah,
then put
he'll
it
put
in
his
those.
raspberry sauce on the website.
And you could do that with strawberries.
Strawberries.
You do it with pretty much any fruit, right?
Blueberries.
Especially the ones that are really high in moisture.
And so I mean, it's a little bit of assembly work, but if you're doing it for Mother's Day, you know, put the time in, make it special.
Now you're making those pretty small.
Yes.
You could make them whatever size you want, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can make them a little bigger, and that's it. I mean, a little raspberry on top.
This looks like something you'd have at high tea. It would just be